Okay, we're on page 11 of Module 7, Lesson 5. We had just done E, talked about how it was a special case because it only has one variable, and then I drew a little picture over here to show what it would look like. So we know all lines with a 0 slope are horizontal, and this says the horizontal line goes through -1. And if you look at the given, it says -4, -1's on the line. Well, -4, -1 would be right there, and yes, it is on the line. So just a little visual there to help you picture that. Okay, so let's do 2 with fractions, and then we'll switch to the last 6 problems. I think you guys are going to get by with 5 videos today. Much easier than 11 videos from Monday, right? And you can probably even shut off your videos and do the problems and check them on your own if you want. So whatever works for you. Okay, so now we have a fractional slope and we have a point that's not the y-intercept. So that tells me I need to use my point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And this is my x1, this is my y1, which we really don't have to label since they're the same number. So we get y minus 8 equals m 3/4 times x minus 8. And I do know I put some fractional ones on both the Module 7 test and the final. So you want to make sure you have your calculators handy and practice using those. So for this, we're going to have to distribute, because remember, we can't add that over until we distribute. So this is going to be y minus 8 equals 3/4 x. Ooh, I think this pins out. I'm down to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, almost ready for the new pack. Okay, and then to do this one, remember that it is multiplication. So this would be 3 fraction bar 4 times -8. So that's what you should type in your computer. 3 fraction bar 4 times -8. And that gives me -6. Okay, so pretty easy with the calculator, right? And then we have to add our 8 over so that we have y alone. Remember, our final goal is to have it in y equals mx plus b form, where y is by itself on the left side. So y equals 3/4 x. 8 minus 6 is positive 2. And there you go. So if you haven't already done J, I would turn off your video and do J on your own, because like I said, I did put fractions on both the Module 7 test and on the final, so you should try one with a fraction on your own. Okay, so again, we have a fractional slope and a point that is not the y-intercept, so that tells me I need to write point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So here's my x1, here's my y1, there's my m. So y minus 7 equals -1/2 x minus, and then I look up here and go, ooh, double negative, -6. So x minus from the formula, -6. So remember to make that a big plus sign before you pick up your calculator to start typing that in. So this side's going to stay y minus 7 for right now. -1/2 times x is -1/2 x. And then on your calculator, you're going to type in -1 fraction bar 2 times +6, which is -3. So I always put that times in because I notice sometimes when students miss this, they go, oh, I added them. So just because there's no symbol there, I like to put the times in, and then that helps you with the calculator part. Excuse me. Allergies are getting the best of me. So now we have minus 7, so we do the opposite, add 7 to move it over, and we get y equals negative 1/2 x, and 7 minus 3, positive 4. And there we have it. So that's the second type. So the first type is when they give us a slope and a y-intercept. We go straight to the answer. The second type, they give us a slope and a random point that's not the y-intercept, and that's when we do the point-slope form. So the last 6 that we're going to do for the day are the third scenario. And by the way, all the answers are on page 12, so any of those problems that we just did or skipped, you can check them on page 12, okay? So that page is done. This page is done. So the last 6 problems we're going to do are the third scenario, which is 2 points. So you probably remember these from Monday's lesson. So we're on page 13 now. So when we're given 2 points, we use the point slope form again, but we have to first find the slope because we can't write an equation without m. If we're using y equals mx plus b, we need m. If we're using y minus y1, we need m. So that's always step 1. So the minute you see 2 points, that should just be second nature. Oh, 2 points. I have to find the slope first. Then we do the problem just like we did the last 3. Okay, so I have on this page A and D circled, and then I think I have 4 on the next page. So probably won't be able to get done in this video, but a real short video later we should. Okay, so we're missing the slope. So step 1 is to find the slope, 18 minus 8 over 3 minus 1. So 18 minus 8 is 10. 3 minus 1 is 2. And remember, we always simplify. I've seen people like struggle with these problems. They put 10 over 2 in place of m. Don't do that. Don't make your life hard for yourself. Simplify it, make it easy. And now we have a point and a slope. Remember, we get to pick which point we want, and I gave you the hint on Monday, pick the one with the smallest numbers and the least negatives. So smaller numbers there. So now I'm ready. I have my m, I have my x1, I have my y1. So this is just going to be like the last page we just did. Plug and chug. So these just require one extra step from the problems before. You do have to find your slope. So y minus 8 equals 5 times x minus 1. And then we distribute, and I promise I'll throw this pen away after this problem. Y minus 8 equals 5x minus 5. And then last but not least, we get y alone by doing the opposite, and that gives us an answer of y equals 5x, 8 minus 5 plus 3. Okay, this pin is being retired. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and do D on your own, go for it. I picked 2 that have whole number slopes, and then the ones on the back have fractional slopes and special cases. So if you want to shut off the video and try D on your own, go for it. Okay, this one also is missing the slope. So step 1 is always to find the slope before I can write the equation. So we have second y, negative 9, minus the first y, negative 5. So second y minus the first y, so double negative, and then we have 6 minus 4 in the denominator. So negative 9 minus negative 5, 6 minus 4. And that leaves us with what? Double negative plus. So negative 9 plus 5 would be negative 4 over 2, which simplifies to negative 2. There we go. Now we're on the page. So negative 9 plus 5, negative 4. 6 minus 4, 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1 negative, negative. So there's our m. And then both the points are pretty much the same. They both have 1 negative. They're relatively small numbers, so I'll just pick that as my x1, y1. But remember what I said on Monday in the video. If you pick this one, someone else in your group picks that one, you guys end up with the same answer at the end. So once you solve for y, you'll have the exact same answer. So just know that it doesn't matter which point you pick, okay? So now we're ready to plug into the point slope. We have our x1, our y1, and our m. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus negative 5. Y minus negative 5 equals m negative 2 times x minus 4. Y minus negative 5 equals negative 2, x minus 4. Good. So we have our double negative again. So this turns into y plus 5 equals negative 2x. And be careful on this next step. Plus 8. Subtract 5. Subtract 5. And we get y equals negative 2x plus 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. So not bad when they're all nice whole numbers, huh? Okay, I think we have time to do one more, and then our last video will have the last 3. I am going to announce a quiz at the end, and I'll also send an email, just FYI. Okay, this is our last page, and I have 4 on this page, and like I said, any ones that miss, look at page 15, and all the answers are there. So if we skip any of them and you want to do more, just go right ahead and do those. So I have 4 picked on this page. I have E, G, H, and J. And like I said, we'll probably only have time to do 1 now, and the other 3 will be on the last video. Then I'll tell you guys about the quiz. Okay, so we have no slope, and I picked this one just because there were a ton of negatives, because usually negatives are where students mess up. So thought it'd be good for us to practice. So if you want to try this one first on your own, go ahead and do that. So second y, negative 1, then there's a minus in the formula, first y, negative 1. So negative 1 minus negative 1. And then in the denominator, negative 1 minus negative 3. So that problem is full of negatives. So negative 1 minus negative 1, negative 1 minus negative 3. So double negatives there. Ooh, so what's happening in the numerator? Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Do you see a special case coming about? 3 minus 1 is 2. And remember, we can never leave 0 in a fraction. It has to be simplified. So when you take 0 and divide by 2, you see it is 0. So we're going to run out of time, so I'll pick up from there on the next video, okay?